With all the carbon footprint, as you can see today, I've come with my new electric car. Peter, can we sit? There's a good boy. I'll just put a penny in the meter because he needs recharging. There you go, young man. That's smashing. And I'll just put my foot on the electric cable and we're away to go. As it's a bit difficult for me, as you can appreciate, with a screen and a script, I just thought that I'd just make a few notes today. Have I got them the right way up? I don't know whether Ben can play that one, but he could try his utmost. Ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, I said I've got my place. It's absolutely fantastic to be here at the Birmingham Rep, celebrating and supporting the Carousel event put on by Aston University. Now, I look upon Carousel and I look upon it as sort of offering a couple of words, if you want to. First of all, Carousel, on a fun fair, absolutely fantastic. We're laughing, we're screaming, we're shouting, we're having the time of our life. But then on the other side of the coin, we've got Carousel with its ups and downs. And obviously it supports what everybody goes through in life, ups and downs. And the way the world is at this moment, with all of the unrest, and unfortunately we know through the media that there is millions of people that are with unrest at this moment in time. So I say to all of you, every morning when we open the curtains of the day to adventure, is fate going to throw us a curveball? Is fate going to deal us a hand of cards that is going to throw us into crisis? And with that crisis, how do we handle it? Now, in the grow bag of life, as I like to say, there are very, very few words, although we use millions of words each day, each week. But for me, words such as change, communications, commitment, desire, trust, and of course, good old teamwork. Now, some of the adventures that I have been a part of, and I'd like to list them if I may. In 2008, I became the first person in the world, or the first blind person in the world, to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. In 2011, I undertook another journey, which was a journey from John O'Groats to Land's End, with a slight difference. Over 10 days, a marathon distance each morning of 26.2 miles, and the remaining miles that day on the back of a tandem to that night's destination. It became 10 marathons in 10 days and a combined 700 miles of cycling. In 2013, I was on a challenge, which was to ride across the continent, 7 countries, 7 days. We started in Switzerland, we rode through Germany, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, Holland, and then back to England. In fact, Birmingham Broad Street as we stand here. In 2015, I found myself in the Sahara Desert, taking part in an incredible adventure, the Marathon des Sables, where you spend 6 days covering over 166 miles, totally self-sufficient. It was incredible. So that was 2015. In 2016, I found myself in San Francisco, involved with an event called Escape from Alcatraz, which basically meant we swam from the prison, which nobody apparently had ever done, 1.5 miles, with a cycle and a run. In 2017, I took part as a duo, me and my guide, and no one had ever done this before, to take on all of the Great Run series. January, we started in Edinburgh, and in November, after 25 runs, we completed the series. 2018 was a very, very special adventure, where I spent 6 days on the Great Wall of China, an incredible place. The culture, the history was fabulous. But what was most important, by this time my family were old enough to accompany me. And my wife, along with my 3 daughters, we spent the 6 days on that incredible journey. Now, 2019, I'm sorry, the list goes on. But 2019, I took part in another event, the Comrades Ultra Marathon, which, in fairness, is a double marathon. It turned out to be 56 miles, or 87k, whichever persuasion you are. And it had to be completed in under 12 hours. It was immense, but we did it. 11 hours and 50 minutes, but we achieved the medal. And only 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks ago, April of this year, after 2 postponements, I'd arranged a bike ride from Colditz Castle in the old East Germany. In 2020, it was the 75th anniversary of the liberation of the castle. And the idea was, me, along with a team that I'd put together, we would basically spend 3 nights in that castle, effectively escape, and cycle back to West Brom. In 2020, as we all know, it had to be postponed because of a pandemic. I then re-erected it, and in 2021, I had to postpone it yet again because of the pandemic. But in 2022, the April, as I said, we went out to Colditz Castle, and over 7 days, a team of us cycled 800 miles back to West Brom. It was an absolutely incredible adventure. People also ask me, what do you get out of the adventures? What do you learn? Has it taught you anything? And of course, the answer is, yeah, it's taught me a lot of things. One in particular, I'm never going back to do them again. That's simple. You're a mug if you do them in the first place. You're stupid if you do them a second time. But yeah, it has learnt me a lot, in all fairness. It's learnt me a lot about myself. It's learnt me a lot about life. Now, I want to bring you back to the grow bag of life and those words that I throw in there, and just sort of explain, I guess, how it helps, can help, certainly has helped me. Change. It's inevitable. There's going to be change in our lives. There's no two ways about that. And for me, it's how you adapt and how you adopt. And the example that I use, going back to when I was 10 years of age, before entering into the doors of the Birmingham Eye Hospital, I was normal, as I thought. I was told I was going blind. I then moved on to 18, where I wanted to join the armed forces. And it was then, as I said, the realisation of what blindness was going to do to me hit me. It changed my life forever, I thought. But change, as I said, is how we adapt and adopt on the way through. And I know now that with all of the help that I have had, that change came, but it didn't ruin my life. Now, I'd like to throw us into communications. Now, we all know that communications is about speech, as we say. We talk to each other. But for me, communications is a few more things other than speech. Basically, we need to talk. Of course, we need to talk. But we also need to listen. And when I am running, I'm talking, or being spoken to, should I say, but I'm listening. But then I also say it's about feeling. Now, I've got my friend on the floor here, Peter, and the way that we communicate is through feeling. When we walk down that street, my hand is on the harness on his back. He goes left, he goes right, I follow. And when he stops, believe you me, I stop. Because he is telling me in his way there is something in the way and we don't want to go any further until we've investigated. Then there's commitment. Now then, commitment, as we all say and we all know, and as parents or as children, we've all heard the scenario. You research it, you revise it, you will get the information out. It's important, and it is. And the way that I use commitment, or the example that I use for commitment, is when I took on the Escape from Alcatraz challenge. You may or may not believe this, but to swim 1.5 miles across choppy waters, shark infested, very, very cold. At that particular moment in time, I couldn't swim. So, from the January, and I'll always remember it, January the 7th, we started off swimming in a pool, and then to the end of May, we had to commit ourselves to 4 times a week swimming or practicing to swim. We realised our little dream, and by the end of May, we'd actually got up in open water to swim in 2K. Commitment. If you put it in, you'll get it out. Then there's desire. Now, let's face it, we all desire the top job. We all want to be paid £100,000 a year. And there's some of us who'd like to play in a World Cup final and lift that cup and grab a medal. And also the Olympic Games or the Commonwealth Games coming up in Birmingham. We want to be the one who picks up the gold medal on the podium. But desire for me is not always about winning. Desire is the taking part, but more important, achieving your goals. That is the desire for me. I want to take part and I want to finish. I don't need to be first. I just want to finish, and that is my desire. Trust. Now, trust, we either earn it or we give it. And we all know that in life. If people trust you or you trust people, we do get much more out of life. And an example with reference to trust, when I was in the Marathon des Sables, I was 2,500 foot up a mountain. At the time, I didn't realise I was on a ledge with a drop of 2,000 feet to my left-hand side. This ledge was a foot wide. My guide runner had to release the cord that attached us. And he said, "Trust me." And he gave me instruction, and I trusted his every word, as he trusted the fact that I would listen to his every word. We obviously made it, because I'm standing here talking to you now. But I trusted my friend with my life. And it works. Teamwork. Now, teamwork can encompass a couple of things within that list: communication, trust, and working together. Now, to give a little example here, we all as individuals, we all have a knowledge, we all have some form of expertise. And by throwing individuals into a team with all of that knowledge can make for a formidable team. But as I said, as an example, I ride a tandem. Now, my tandem has been adapted. And it hasn't been adapted because I'm blind. It has been adapted so that I am part of the bike. I become part of our team. The gears have been taken from the front to the back, so that when I travelled that 1,000 miles or 700 miles from John O'Groats to Land's End, I simply sat on a saddle, pedalled my feet, rang the bell. Oh, I had the time of my life. But with the fact that I've got the gears on the back, Steve, who is the captain of the tandem, he will give me instruction. He tells me there's cars up, there's cars down, there's traffic lights red, there's traffic lights green, there's a hill coming, or there's a very big hill coming. And then I have to sort out the gears. So between the two of us, we become quite an awesome team. And also, the other example, again, I use Peter, my mate, this electric car on the floor here. Now, I know that every day that you walk out of your house, you look up that street and you can see the lamppost, you can see the tree, you can see the wheelie bin, you can see the car shooting across the top of the drive. Me and Peter, we walk out and I'm oblivious. But I know as we work together, I give him the instruction, straight on, Peter, or find left. I follow that harness. And as I say, between the two of us, we work together. He listens, I listen, he stops, I stop. And as a team, we get to our destination 99 times out of that 100. Now let me ask a question of all of you. In the grow bag of life, here's some thoughts for after maybe. What words would you put in there? What words have enhanced your life? Now also my attitude has changed towards life. As I said, going back to when I was 18, and there I was, blindness was going to rob me of a life. So I thought. Do you know, I now look upon blindness as a gift. It has gifted me such a wonderful, wonderful life. It still is. I have met people, I have visited places, and I have been able to be a part of many adventures that I know if I'd have been sighted, I wouldn't have done. We move back to carousel. What a lovely word for an event such as this. And as you can appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we've all been there. I certainly have. I've been at the bottom of the carousel. I've been at the bottom of the world, and I felt terrible. But over the years, with the realization and the belief that there is a life there, I have climbed, and I am now at the peak of the carousel movement. I'm on that mountain, and I've climbed that mountain, and I've reached the top. And at the top is a flag of achievement. And I have been able, with self-belief, to grab that flag and lift it. And believe you me, I will lift it again. And so I say to all of you, there is a peak at the top of the carousel. There is that mountain, there is that flag. And all of us can grab and lift that flag. And there's only one person in this world that is going to stop you grabbing and lifting. That person is you. So I would like to leave you with just a small message, something that I now believe in. Please, don't worry about what you can't do. It's negative. Concentrate your efforts and energy on what you can do. And you know yourself that you will grab the flag of achievement and lift it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the loan of your ears, and I bid you good day. Thank you.